Okay, it's quiz time again on the Roots of England YouTube channel. So feel free to join me. Today's quiz, this evening's quiz, is on food and drink. Now this is following on from the UK geography quiz that we did a couple of weeks ago, and I know that a few of you played along. I got 23 and a half out of, I can't remember what it was out of. I didn't do quite as well as I was hoping, but it wasn't a disaster. So tonight we're doing a quiz on the topic of food and drink. And again, if you want to play along, then feel free. See if you can beat my score. So this is a website called dayoutinengland.com, and it's the Big England Food Quiz. There's 50 questions, but one of the rounds is a picture round, so obviously we can't do that. So I think what we've got is 40 questions and 4 separate topics within food and drink, so kind of 4 rounds of 10. And what I'll do is after I've read out a question, if you are playing along, I'll wait for a few seconds before I say what I think the answer is. And that'll just give you a chance to pause the video and to write down what you think the answer is, so if that makes sense. So without further ado, let's begin. Let's see what the first round is. English breakfast. Round 1, English breakfast quiz. See how many of these food quiz questions you can get right. Okay, so here we go. What does the HP stand for in HP sauce? So I know the answer to that one, and it stands for Houses of Parliament. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a picture of the Houses of Parliament on the front of HP sauce bottles. Question 2. Which breakfast item is proudly made in Burton-on-Trent? Now, I don't know this one. I'm going to have a guess. So Burton-on-Trent in the Midlands. Now, around that area, I know that tea cakes are very popular, aren't they? And I think tea cakes are they basically like a breakfast bun type thing, I think. I mean, I feel like I should know this, but which breakfast item? So it's not black pudding, it wouldn't be that, that's in berry. Bacon, sausage, but tea cake, could it be that? That's an addition to a breakfast. I don't think that's going to be right, but I'm going to say tea cake. Like tea, this is question 3. Like tea used to be refers to which tea? Oh, I don't know. Is that talking about a brand of tea? Like Yorkshire tea or Tetley tea or... Now I don't know, so I'm going to have a guess. So I'll say Yorkshire tea. This isn't going too well so far. What's the official difference between an English breakfast and a Scottish one? Now I thought there was a few differences, because a Scottish breakfast has the addition of the Lawn sausage, which I think is the square beef sausage. I'm not a fan. Haggis. It's got haggis on it. And a potato scone. It has as well. And I know all this because my brother spends a lot of time in Scotland, and we were only talking recently actually about the difference between an English breakfast and a Scottish breakfast. So I will say the addition of haggis, but I think there's more than one difference. So, what is a smoked herring also known as? That's kipper, I think, isn't it? Smoked herring, is that a kipper? Yeah, a kipper is a smoked herring. I'm sure of it. I didn't leave enough of a gap then, so I'll try and make more of it. Try and leave a bit more time if I know the answer after I've read the questions out. Number 6. What type of animal forms the basis of a kedgeree? Be precise. kedgeree. Oh, it's haddock, isn't it? Fish. I'm sure it's haddock. It's possibly smoked haddock. So type of animal, so fish. In brackets, haddock. 7. What type of beans are baked beans? Okay, I think I know that one. I think the answer to that one is haricot beans. Haricot beans? Don't know how you pronounce it. If not, it's cannellini, but I think it's haricot beans. What causes... It says what caused the holes in crumpets. It must be what causes the holes in crumpets. Now, what would that be? Is it baking soda? Or bicarb soda? Like the air bubbles. So I'm going to say baking soda. But again, I don't know. It's a guess. So I feel like I'm not doing very well. When it comes to breakfast, what are soldiers? Okay. So they're small rectangular pieces of toast that are cut into small rectangles to dip in to a runny egg. So I'll write that down. Small rectangles of toast to dip in egg. And question 10. Which is healthier, a croissant or an English muffin? We've got a 50-50 chance there, as of you. I think croissant's got quite a lot of butter in it. But is butter healthy? I don't really know what's an English muffin. I'll say an English muffin is healthier. And that's the first round done. I feel like I didn't do very well. How did you get on? And let me know if you like these quizzes and if you want me to do any more. You can suggest some topics if you want. So round 2, yeah, which follows, it's now lunch. Okay, so next up in the British food quiz, what exactly am I describing? Okay. I'm stuffed with beef, turnips, potatoes and onions and was first served in South England. What am I? Okay. So I think I know the question. The answer to that is, it's got to be a Cornish pasty, hasn't it? Question 2. I'm found in Devon and people often argue about which is spread on me first. What am I? Okay, I know that one. And that is a scone, isn't it? And I think is it in Devon? They put the jam on, then the cream. And in another county, is it Cornwall? I think it's Cornwall, they put the cream on, then the jam. Or vice versa. I might have that the wrong way round. I was invented so John Montagu wouldn't get both his hands and cards dirty during a gambling game. What am I? I don't know who John Montagu is for a start. Does anybody know who John Montagu is? Wouldn't get both his hands and cards dirty during a gambling game. So what would you be eating for lunch and gambling at the same time? I don't know what it is. Fork? I don't know. I very much doubt it. But there we go. I have a thin layer of fat and I'm kinda a big deal in Melton Mowbray. What am I? Okay. Well, that's an easy one. That's pork pie, isn't it? Melton Mowbray pork pies. Question 5. I'm a bit like a pasty. Oh, but I have a savoury filling at one end and sweet at the other. What am I? See, I've heard of this. but I don't know the answer. A bit like a pasty. I'm a bit like a pasty, but I have a savoury filling at one end and sweet at the other. I think when I see the answer, I'll know it, but I can't call it to mind. Okay. I'm a delicacy found in Colchester and the Romans love me. What am I? Well, what's that? A delicacy? Found in Colchester, obviously a Roman town. Chester, Colchester, and the Romans love me. Is this a trick question? I wouldn't have thought you'd have a culinary delight in Colchester. What could that be? I don't know. I'm going to say something like tripe, though. I'm going to say tripe. That possibly once was a delicacy. Is that a sheep's stomach or part of a sheep's stomach? And yeah, I can imagine the Romans would have loved a bit of tripe. So why not? Total guess. I famously appeared on Wallace and Gromit. What am I? I think I know this one. Now, isn't that Wensleydale cheese? I think Wallace loved eating Wensleydale cheese. Yes, it is. Okay, question 8 in the lunch round. I'm made from bread, cheese, beer and pickles and served as a lunch. What am I? That is a ploughman's lunch. Yeah. A simple, hearty, basic lunch served to the farmers back in the day. That's still quite popular in pubs out in the country. Question 9. Fortnum and Mason claim to have invented me in 1738. I'm round, I divide the nation. What am I? Fortnum and Mason, they do really nice biscuits. Funnily enough, I'm looking across the kitchen there at a Fortnum and Mason biscuit jar that I got as a Christmas present a couple of years back. Kept the jar because it's really nice. So is it biscuits around? Divide the nation though? Do biscuits divide the nation? What do you think? And what do you think of this quiz? It's harder than I thought it would be, actually. Let's say biscuit. I don't know whether I'm even hitting a third of the questions right here. Question 10. I'm known as a staple in the English diet to anyone who doesn't live in England. They think we eat them while drinking afternoon tea out of a teacup. In reality, we don't at all. What am I? Okay. I'm known as a staple in the English diet to anyone who doesn't live in England. They think we eat them while drinking afternoon tea out of a teacup. In reality, we don't at all. What am I? Rings a bell, that. Tea and... what would that be? What do you think? I don't know. My mind's gone blank on that. I'm not doing too well. Now, how are you getting on so far? If you do like these quizzes, then let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you're somebody who loves England, the nature in England, the heritage, our rural way of life, and if you're looking for a place to find other people, an online community of people who are looking for that sense of belonging around that shared love of England, then Click the link in the description and join my online school community for free. I think you'll really enjoy what we've got there. Okay, round 3 is chocolate, but it's a picture round, so we can't do that one. So we'll go to round 4, which is the English dinner quiz. Okay. How well do we know English dinner? Okay, here we go. Okay, so what meat is used in a shepherd's pie? Well, that one is obvious. The clues, well, no, I was going to say, give you a clue then, but you'll probably already know it. So I'm going to say, oh no, I can give you a clue. What am I talking about? It's telling you what I think my answer is anyway. Lamb. Shepherd's pie is lamb. What day do English people traditionally eat fish and chips? Okay. That is a Friday, and I will be having fish and chips tomorrow with my friend Keith, who is also in my Roots of England School community, and we're meeting tomorrow in Southport. We're going to do a little interview. I'm going to do a little interview with Keith, possibly in a fish and chip shop, who knows? So the answer to that is Friday, and tomorrow is Friday. Okay, question 3. What is beef wrapped in pate and pastry and usually served with potatoes and veg called? What is beef wrapped in pate and pastry and usually served with served with potatoes and veg called? That is beef Wellington, isn't it? A very decadent dish. It's made with fillet of beef traditionally, I think. Do you use yeast in Yorkshire pudding? Well, my ex-girlfriend Sarah used to make Yorkshire puddings and they were delicious, and I don't ever remember her putting yeast in them. So I'm going to say no. I miss those Yorkshire puddings. Question 5. I am made of potatoes and cabbage and usually made from leftovers. What am I? Okay. I feel like I'm doing a bit better on this round. Bubble and squeak. Anybody? What do you think? That's bubble and squeak, isn't it? You can throw anything in there. Which vegetable was first known as Italian asparagus? Right, okay. Which vegetable was first known as Italian asparagus? What would that be? Italian. I don't know, my mind's going blank again. What do you think? I don't know. I'll say green bean, but I don't know what the Italian connection is. But I'm sure when I see the answer, I'll be kicking myself. What does Bisto stand for? Oh, Bisto gravy granules. I've got no idea. Someone will know it. I don't. I'm falling flat on my face again. What county is most famed for its hot pot? Well, I do know that one. And the answer to that is Lancashire. Question 9. What is a panakelty? It's spelled P-A-N-A-C-K-E-L-T-Y. Never heard of it. What is a panakelty? I don't know. And question 10 in the dinner round. What type of food does the UK spend 4.7 billion on a year? Crisps. Chicken. Chicken's really popular, isn't it? I'll say chicken. Right, okay, so I feel the first half of that went well, and then it was all downhill from there. Okay, round 5, which is actually round 4, English desserts. How well do you know your British desserts? Here we go. What's it called when you put meringue with cream and strawberries and coulis? Eating mess. Which has more calories in a full standard packet? Viennetta or Arctic roll? I really like Viennetta. I've heard of Arctic roll, but I've got no idea what it is. So, Viennetta is basically ice cream with chocolate on. A full standard packet, but I don't know how big a packet of Arctic. I'll say Arctic roll. Question 3. You can buy lemon Angel Delight, true or false? Well, I don't ever recall seeing lemon Angel Delight. When I think Angel Delight, I think of the colour pink. I think I've only ever seen pink Angel Delight, which will be the strawberry or raspberry flavour. I don't ever remember seeing a lemon one, so I'll say false, but I'm probably wrong. Colin is synonymous with which supermarket? I don't know. I've got no idea. Colin. Who's Colin? Who's Col? Big Col? I don't know. I'll say Colin. Oh, it's Colin. It's Colin the Caterpillar, isn't it? Colin the Caterpillar. Now, who does Colin the Caterpillar? Wasn't there a... No, I'm sure it's either Aldi or Marks and Spencer's. And whichever one it was, the other one did an imitation and got taken to court by whichever supermarket it was that had originally created Colin the Caterpillar. I think Colin the Caterpillar cake, Aldi or Marks and Spencer's. I say M&S, but I bet you have got it wrong. No, I'll say Aldi. I think it's Aldi, and I think Marks and Spencer's then kind of ripped it off and did their own Colin the Caterpillar. And then there was some kind of legal challenge because they'd stolen the idea. This was a couple of years ago, I think. Question 5. Battenberg cake is traditionally which two colours? Okay, I think it's pink and white. It's made from almonds, isn't it? It's marzipan. I think it's pink and white. Oh no, hold on. It's pink and yellow. It's not white, it's pink and yellow. Pink and yellow. Name 5 ingredients in trifle. Okay, so ladyfingers, they're the sponge shaped, ladyfinger shaped things. Jelly, fruit, whipped cream, custard, sherry. Okay, so that's 6. So I'll take whipped cream. I'll take custard out. I'll say ladyfingers, jelly, fruit, whipped cream, and sherry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I sound like an STI. What am I? That's a funny question, isn't it? STI. I sound like an STI. What would that be? I'm just thinking on that one. Just running through all my knowledge of STIs now. I don't know, have you got any idea on that? I sound like an STI, what am I? Again, probably when I see the question, when I see the answer, I'll kick myself. I sound like an STI, what am I? Oh, I don't know. Dessert. No, I don't know. Okay, question 8. What is an Eccles cake made of? Eccles cake. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to say currants. I don't know. What's the English word for when you have loads of ice cream, fruit and sauce in a tall glass? Okay. Well, it sounds like a French word if the answer is what I think it is. Sundae. S-U-N-D-A-E. Isn't it a sundae? That sounds French to me. Not an English word. Ice cream, fruit and sauce. Sundae. I have bananas, cream and toffee made from boiled condensed milk. What am I? Oh, that rings a bell. I have bananas, cream and toffee made from boiled condensed milk. Oh. I'll know that, definitely. I don't know, I'll say banoffee pie, but that's not an English dessert, so that's not going to be right. That one, I sound like an STI, what am I? I don't know. Okay, that's it. So, that's 40 questions. And I'm not looking forward to this. To seeing the answers. So, how did you do? How do you think you've done? Are you ready for the answers now? Okay, so here we go. So, the breakfast round. What does the HP stand for in HP sauce? Houses of Parliament. I got that correct. Which breakfast item is proudly made in Burton-on-Trent? Marmite. I can picture it now. I can see it. Like tea used to be refers to which tea? And it is Yorkshire tea. So I got that one right. I've just ticked that one. That should be a cross. So 2 out of 3 so far. What's the official difference between an English breakfast and a Scottish one? Black pudding versus haggis, or hash browns versus oatcakes. I did talk about haggis, but I don't think I can. I don't know. Did anybody get that right? Let me know if you got that one right. Question 5. What is a smoked herring also known as? Kippers. I got that one right. Question 6. What type of animal forms the basis of a kedgeree? Be precise. So I put fish, but it's haddock, so I got that one right. Question 7. What type of beans are baked beans? And they are indeed haricot beans, so I got that one right, which is good. What causes the holes in crumpets? I said baking soda, and the answer is bubbles in fermentation. So I didn't think it. Didn't get that right. When it comes to breakfast, what are soldiers? Now the answer here, it says sliced toast. So I've said small rectangles of toast to dip in an egg, in a boiled egg. So I'm going to give myself. I've been very specific because that's what they are. So I'm going to give myself the mark for that. Which is healthier, a croissant or an English muffin? English muffin, so I guessed that one right. So out of 10, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 10 there. Okay. So how did you get on? Okay, this is the Lunch in England quiz. What am I? I'm stuffed with beef, turnips, potatoes and onions and was first served in South England. What am I? Cornish pasty. Correct. I'm found in Devon and people often argue about which is spread on me first. What am I? And it is indeed a scone. Question 3. I was invented so John Montagu, whoever he was, wouldn't get both his hands and cards there to join a gambling game. What am I? And the answer is sandwich. And John Montagu was the 4th Earl of Sandwich. Right, okay. So he wouldn't get both his hands, so he eat his sandwich with one hand and he's got his other hand spare. Okay. Oh well. Now I know. I have a thin layer of fat and I'm kind of a big deal in Melton Mowbray. What am I? The answer to that is, of course, pork pie. I'm a bit like a pasty, but I have a savoury filling at one end and I'm sweet at the other. What am I? Bedfordshire clanger pastry. No. I'm a delicacy found in Colchester and the Romans love me. What am I? Oysters. So it's not tripe, it's oysters. Of course, thinking about it, yeah, Colchester oysters. I think I did know that. Or am I just kidding myself? It's one of them. When you see the answer, you can see the logic. Okay, famously appeared on Wallace and Gromit. What am I? I said Wensleydale cheese, and it is Wensleydale cheese. Question 8, I'm made from bread, cheese, beer and pickles and served as a lunch. What am I? Ploughman's lunch. Correct. Fortnum and Mason claim to have invented me in 1738. I'm round, I divide the nation. What am I? Well, I said biscuit. And I was miles off. The answer's Scotch egg, and I do love a Scotch egg. I'm known as a staple in the English diet to anyone who doesn't live in England. They think we eat them while drinking afternoon tea out of a teacup. In reality, we don't. What am I? The answer's cucumber sandwiches. So, okay. Well, I didn't get that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 5 out of 10. That was right. Just checking that one. Okay, so far 12 out of 20. So it's okay. It's not great, but it's not a catastrophe. So at this halfway point, how are you getting on? Right, round. The next round is the English dinner quiz. What meat is used in a shepherd's pie? I said lamb, and it is, of course, lamb. The clue's in the name. What day do English people traditionally eat fish and chips? It is, of course, Friday. Question 3. What is beef wrapped in pate and pastry and usually served with potatoes and veg called? It is indeed beef Wellington. I got that right. Do you use yeast in Yorkshire pudding? Well, I was talking about my ex-girlfriend Sarah making them, and I never remember her putting yeast in Yorkshire pudding. So I said no, and that is correct. So my memory was intact there. Question 5. I'm made of potatoes and cabbage and usually made from leftovers. What am I? It is, of course, bubble and squeak. Full marks so far. Which vegetable was first known as Italian asparagus? I said green bean. It's broccoli. Got that wrong. Question 7. What does BISTO stand for? I didn't have any clue, but it stands for browns, instantly seasons and thickens in one. So if you got that right, fair play. Question 8. Which county is most famed for its hot pot? I put Lancashire, and it is, of course, Lancashire. What is a panacalty, however you pronounce that? It's a casserole dish consisting of corned beef and root vegetables slow baked over a low heat. Okay, well, I always thought corned beef was Irish, but I've never heard of it. And panacalty, that doesn't sound like an English name. Maybe it came from another country, I don't know. What type of food does the UK spend 4.7 billion on a year? I said chicken, but the answer is ready meals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10. So this is a very mediocre performance for me. Yeah, 6 out of 10. And the last round was the dessert round. What's it called when you put meringue with cream and strawberries and coulis? Eating mess. I got that one right. Which has more calories in a full standard packet, Viennetta or Arctic roll? I said Arctic roll, but the answer is Viennetta. I suppose I should have known that Viennetta is all ice cream and chocolate. Can you get more calorific than that? So I don't know what an Arctic roll is. You can buy lemon Angel Delight, true or false? And I was talking about how I'd never seen yellow lemon Angel Delight. So I said false, and that is correct. Colin is synonymous with which supermarket? I knew this was going to happen. So originally I said Marks and Spencer, and then I changed it to Aldi, and it is Marks and Spencer's. And I'm going to have to look up whether I'm right about that legal challenge to do with Colin the Caterpillar. The Colin the Caterpillar cake. Battenberg cake is traditionally which two colours? I put yellow, pink and yellow, and yep, yellow and pink, correct. Okay. Name 5 ingredients in trifle. I said ladyfingers, jelly, fruit, whipped cream and sherry. So sponge cake or fingers, so I'll have that, yeah. Cream, whipped cream, yeah. Fruit, yes. Sherry, yes. Strawberries and custard. I crossed out custard. I put jelly. Can I have that? I'm going to give myself half a point for that. I think I've earned half a point. I sound like an STI. What am I? Spotted dick. Love it. So I didn't get that right. Question 8. What is an Eccles cake made of? I put currants. Sticky and packed with fruit with extra flaky and light pastry. That doesn't really make sense. What is an Eccles cake made of? Sticky and packed with fruit with extra flaky and light pastry. Didn't get that right. Question 9. What's the English word for when you have loads of ice cream, fruit and sauce in a tall glass? I said sundae and I thought it's not an English word, it's French. But of course the answer is Knickerbocker Glory. So I'm kicking myself. I'm not doing very well on this round. And question 10. I have bananas, cream and toffee made from boiled condensed milk. What am I? It doesn't have the answer next to it. I put banoffee pie and I know that's not going to be right. So let me just throw that into Google so that we can get an answer. And see what it comes up with. Well, when it is banoffee pie. Because every single result is coming up with banoffee pie. I thought that was American. Banoffee pie is an English dessert. No way. A popular English dessert. Well, there you go. So it is banoffee pie. So that's a point for me. So if you put banoffee pie, you were right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5.5. Okay, so I'm just going to tot up my scores. So it's out of 40. Just check again. 18. I got 23.5 out of 40. I'm sure I got 23.5 last time. So just over half marks, which I'm a bit disappointed with. But again, just as with the geography quiz, don't know quite as much as I thought I would, as I thought I did. But I enjoyed that quiz. I hope you did too. Let me know in the comments how you got on. What other quizzes you'd like me to do. What themes. And hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back soon with another video. Okay, cheers.